In the astrology of June 5th, we enter the day of the metal rat. And the metal rat energy is very clever. It's very fixated. It's very mental. There's a lot of mental strength and mental energy right now. And we can think about it kind of like the metal Sagittarius. So there is a great deal of belief, the plans and the things that you've been sort of holding on to for a long time. And what place that they have in your life. Essentially, like in your life right now, there are probably a lot of things that are being questioned. There's a lot of people that are changing their minds about things while maybe you are still feeling very fixed on what it is that you believe or what you know that your truth is. So this is all happening though while the sun in Gemini, which is essentially a very powerful energy of thought and of reasoning and of communication, the ideas that sort of you believe in versus the ones that you're entertaining, is in a quincunx with Poseidon, who is a planet of enlightenment. This is a planet of leaving the shadow or transcending the shadow and moving into basically your you-ness, moving into your authenticity. And it's a very powerful sort of hero's journey that happens with Poseidon. So what happens when we have the sun in its quincunx with Poseidon is we go on this important moment in the hero's journey where we are confronted by something, where something needs to change. And oftentimes, because this is the waning quincunx, this means that this is more reflective. It's likely what you've already done has kind of set this in motion. But if you think back to whatever it is that you started really putting a lot of energy into back in this last November, and then you think back to what happened back when the sun was quincunxing Poseidon the first time, you know, when it was over in Aries, and you think back to what kind of was disrupted or what sort of intense event happened then, how you responded to it leading up to this waning quincunx, where now things are shifting once again. But it's very likely that if you stuck with it, that if you put your energy there, it's likely going to be shifting in your favor. You know, almost gravitationally, it feels as though you've gotten through the most difficult part of this. Now, beyond this, we then start to move into, of course, you know, the further aspects that we're going to be moving throughout the summer when we hit the trine, when we enter Cancer season. And so there's a great deal of intensity in this energy, but essentially something that meant a lot to you, that you started putting energy into this last November, that was sort of confronted very likely this last April, and you start to feel now that some of these things are finally shifting again. It's very likely that this is something to continue to process or to be a part of, but essentially to pay attention more than anything, because the quincunx is very useful, even though it usually manifests as some type of crisis, some type of change. It usually is very intense. And so whatever this is, if you have hung on this long, understand that this is likely the final major shift before, of course, the sun reaches its conjunction with Poseidon in this upcoming Scorpio season, and a new journey between the two has started. So thank you guys for tuning in today, and I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day. I will talk to you all tomorrow.